What up? Welcome back. We are back, Mike and Kay and Mike. We got a Giants fan, we got a Jets fan. This is what happens when you get two of these hardcore
The
fans together. Welcome to
New York
another,
connection.
yep.
The,
Welcome, well, New Jersey connection, really.
the, the,
Welcome to
the MetLife boys. That's what you call ourselves.
welcome to our first episode of the Philadelphia Rap Life podcast. Yeah, man. Like we got lots to cry about this past week one and whatnot. We're going to get into that soon. But of course, this is going to be our ritual coming in when we start our podcast. The question: What were you listening to before we went on? Like everything backstage and everything like that. But what were you actually listening to? What was in your your iPod, your stereo, whatever? I'm taking it back. Like what was playing before we went on?
Well, before we went on, I was in the car, so I
Okay,
was
so
listening
forward.
to
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to a wrestling radio show actually, because I was doing Lyft.
Okay. All
I
right.
was doing Lyft, so
Maybe
I
I
was
didn't
listening
maybe I
to
didn't ask the question, or so maybe I didn't ask the question correctly, or something. Okay, before you were listening to, you said the Russians or something like that.
you know what I was listening to. Our
Jesus,
other our other partner sent a he posted a track on Facebook, so I was checking that out. It was called Number Eight.
number eight.
It was
Okay,
like a FedEx Selector
shout
song.
out, shout
It
out.
had West Shotgun,
Okay,
Conway, and somebody else. I can't think of the other rapper name, but
Conway the
it was
Machine.
pretty nice song.
Yeah, yeah, Conway is good. Conway is good.
Shout out to Duff if you listening.
Yeah, shout out. Yeah, what I was listening to before we came through, I was listening to pretty much like De La Soul. I was in my De La bag today. I was listening to, Keeping the Faith, Many Put a Pistol on Santa, a little bit of a mixed playlist of different, some of my different favorite De La classics to me. Shout out to De La. Finally, Tommy Boy let him go to have their music streamed on Apple Music, and I was just like overjoyed to actually have that because that's just really really good music. Shout out to Prince
Yeah,
Paul. Rest in peace to Mace.
that's
Um,
what it is.
yeah, rest in peace to Mace. Shout out to Prince Paul and Pasta Noose and Trugoy. And yeah, that was in my playlist. De La Soul was in my playlist. Usually today is what, Wednesday, so usually it's like either Wu Tang Wednesday or Wale Wednesday or something like that. But
Why
today,
does Wu Tang just get Wednesday? Wu Tang should be every day. But
you can't. Well, you
we're
can't.
gonna
Well,
celebrate them.
you can't listen to Wu Tang every day because you're gonna be on edge. You're gonna be ready to take down the establishment.
We're gonna celebrate them later on in a couple months. We're gonna celebrate them properly.
Why are we gonna celebrate them for? For what?
Because in
Hmm.
November 9th is the 30th anniversary. But see, we're giving it away already.
That's
But
cool.
yeah, November 9th is the 30th anniversary to
Hmm.
Enter the Wu Tang. One of my favorite albums ever.
Of all time, does it
Yes,
go up? Does it go up in that top 10 albums of all time in your
it's in my top 10. We
Yeah, you know what? It's in my
we went
top
through that.
10 too. Yeah, I mean it's in my top 10 too. Enter the Wu Tang because I actually remember it because I actually bought that from Santa Germantown. It was a
Oh, you bought the
combo.
bootleg?
No, I ain't bootleg it. No, I got the authentic. I got the authentic retail value.
All right, all
Um,
right.
yeah, yeah, that ran me a cool $23 because it was what's his face? They were both on sale, 10.99. It was Pete Rock and CL Smooth and Wu Tang, and I got both of them. And I actually put Pete Rock and CL. Was it? Let me see. That was 93. So that was that Mecca and the Soul Brother? I think it was Mecca and the Soul Brother. And or was it the main ingredient?
I think it was the main ingredient because
I
you
think it was
put
the
me
main
on that.
ingredient because
Because I
Mecca
never
and the
heard
Soul
that one
Brother
until
came
you
out.
mentioned it.
Yeah, because Mecca and the Soul Brother came out what, like
That
90?
that was like 92, wasn't it?
Ooh, yeah,
93.
yeah. You know what? Look that up, Mike. Look that up for me. Like look that up.
Got you.
Yeah, look that up for me while we're talking because yeah, that was a good album too. Main ingredient, man, Mecca and the Soul Brother. Shout out to Pete Rock and CL Smooth. Money on
I
the
said when Mecca and the Soul Brother come out. Mecca and the Soul Brother, right?
yeah.
Sorry, taking so long. I only got one hand to take.
That's all right. That's all right. It's all good. It's all good because I'll look up main ingredient for you while we're talking and whatnot. And I just remember that I remember getting that on a Tuesday. That's what I remember. I remember that getting on a Tuesday.
It came out June 9th, 1992. I
Okay.
remember it coming out in the summer. I do remember that.
What main ingredient or Mecca and the Soul Brother?
Mecca and the Soul Brother.
All right, so must have been main ingredient then.
The main ingredient was first, right?
No, Mecca and the Soul Brother was first.
You sure?
Hmm. Yep.
I swear. I don't know. Cause didn't they have an album out before that? They had like the creator on it, or there was that Mecca or that main ingredient.
Well, that was all sold out. That was like a little That was like a little EP,
Oh,
and then they came out with um because I remember on the album Mecca and the Soul Brother they had the creator remix. They had the
all
remix,
right.
and then because they had Straighten It Out, When They Reminisce Over You. What's another joint on there? Lots of Lovin' was on there.
That
For
was
Pete's
on.
sake, Pete's sake
That
was
was
on.
on Mecca and the Soul Brother, right?
Yeah, that was all Mecca and the Soul Brother.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and then after that came Main Ingredient with I Gotta Love and some of those other joints that didn't hit the radio. But it was a slamming album nonetheless. I think they just 30. I think they celebrated like an anniversary too. By the way, um, Mecca and the Soul Brother. But yeah, might I digress. Thank you for the information, Mike. Appreciate you. Um, let's move on to the topic. I know that you're trying to get off your chest, bro. Uh, recently, recently in week one, we both encountered some heartache. I was hyped for the season. I'm just poking my chest out and everything. I'm just super hyped. Um, the Giants lost 40-0.
You
Uh,
had to say the score though, right?
I mean, let's
You
listen.
had to bring the score back up.
Well, listen, Mike. I'm going to talk about what happened with my team too. Like I'm hyped. We're coming out. Aaron Rodgers is holding the flag. It's 9/11. We're definitely sending our prayers to everybody and everything to the families of the survivors and the families that lost people in 9/11 as well. Um, the I was just ready. Crowd's hype. MetLife is just jumping right now. It's like sold out. It's like 100 and some thousand people in there just to see Aaron Rodgers play. Third play in, he gets sacked. He goes down. He stands up, and he goes down again. And I saw. Then, like we were talking about it last night.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah, it's cool. We were talking about it like last night off stage. About that. You said you saw something pop, and I saw it too. I was like, "Ooh!" I saw something pop. I was like, "Yeah, that's an AC. That's a blown
Yeah,
tire right there." Um,
and I've seen somebody pop an ACL before,
yeah,
or
me too.
Achilles tendon, or there was Achilles tendon. He popped the ACL or Achilles, right?
Yeah, it's Achilles. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I've seen somebody pop an
yeah.
Achilles
He
before,
ruptured. He
and it
ruptured that.
wasn't pretty.
Yeah, he ruptured that bad boy. And yeah, I mean, so you know what? We're going to use this platform right now. This little bit of time to you know, what's your take on the Giants Cowboys game, and can they recover?
They can recover, but I didn't. I mean, like I said before, I told you off camera that I didn't. I'm not mad at the loss. I'm just mad at the way they lost, 40
Okay.
to nothing, and they couldn't do nothing.
Hmm.
And then you gave Daniel Jones all his money to be the man.
Hmm.
Like you can't count on my bad. Yeah, I'm getting a phone call. I'm sorry. You can't count on Saquon every down. Like you can't do so much.
Hmm.
I don't know. I just this is the first game of the season, so I'm
Right.
not I'm not I'm not mad at the team. Just didn't want them to lose like that on national TV.
Hmm.
Like if it was like a 1 o'clock game, maybe I wouldn't be as frustrated. But if it was national television Sunday night, everybody's watching.
Hmm. Hmm. I hear you. I hear you. Mike, get it off your chest, bro. Keep talking. Go. Purge,
But
brother.
but I'm
Purge.
still we still my boys. I'm still rooting for them.
Hmm.
We got a long season ahead of us.
Yeah, it's only week one, man. I'm like, who do you guys have this week?
The Cardinals. No, the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals. Yeah,
Oh, are you guys playing in Phoenix or are you guys?
I think it's in Arizona.
Oh yeah. You gonna take it? Guess what? I feel sorry for Phoenix because you're gonna just take it out on them. I mean, they're like Phoenix is a dumpster fire anyway, so they're gonna yeah.
They
You should
trying to tank anyway because they want to get Caleb Williams.
yeah. And you're gonna what's his face? You're going man. Listen, y'all gonna do the thing to them, man. I feel sorry for them because y'all are just gonna be just cheap shotting them and blocking them and just running them over and stuff like that. I just feel sorry for them, man. So Phoenix, pack your lunch. Um, the Giants are coming. Saquon's going to have like 200 and something yards on y'all. So just get ready. Your Phoenix's defense is trash. Their offense is it's up in the air. They don't know who's going to be the quarterback. So it's like, look, you got this. Daniel Jones should have, yo, Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley should have a combined total of 300 some odd all-purpose yards.
They play the Cardinals this week. Yeah, 425.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. You guys are probably in Arizona right now, just talking. You guys are just not even saying nothing in the locker room. All you got to do is just put up 40-0. That's it.
But it don't get easier after that. Like they got the Seahawks, the
So,
Bills,
so,
the 49ers, the Dolphins,
but you guys
the
got a defense
Commanders.
though. But see, you guys got a defense though. You guys have a pretty solid defense. I mean, there's no way that the Cowboys defense is going to do what they did like for the rest of the season. I'm not saying like they're not a great defense because they are, but there's no possible way that they can maintain that. Even if whether it's fantasy football or regular football. Like, dude, these dudes put up like almost 34 points alone on their defense. Come on, bro. Like, whatever. 17, I can understand. But the only reason why it was so high because first of all, it was a shutout and he scored a lot of points. That's it. And they got a lot of like turnovers and stuff like that. A couple interceptions here, block punt, all the other good stuff and everything. So, but I think you guys are going to be okay. Now switching over to my lovely my beloved Jets.
So y'all won though. You can't be
No,
so mad.
but see, here's the thing though. Here's the thing though, Mike. Like we won, but what was the price?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, what was the price that we? I mean, to be honest with you, I might even be comfortable with the loss. If we could still have our quarterback. But guess what? I mean, Zach Wilson is he's back starting again. A lot of people were getting on Zach Wilson like, no, Zach can't lead us and everything like that. Okay, he might not be able to lead us to the championship per se, but he can definitely get us to the playoffs. And what I don't like, and you and I talked about this also off stage, was like they already going out and getting someone else. Let them play first. Like before you
Yeah,
start
no.
subbing me out. Like before you start subbing me out. Like let me play first.
Like
Uh,
I understand them getting someone in case that he might get hurt if he don't work out.
right.
But they talking about getting Brady, getting Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan didn't work in Indianapolis, so what makes you think he's gonna work in New York?
Right. That's I mean, and then on top of that, like Matt Ryan is like with that. Okay, all right, with that offensive line, he can get the ball off and stuff like that. But is he going to take those hits?
Yeah.
And isn't he working like isn't he working in the booth
Yeah,
somewhere? Is he
yeah,
an
he's in the
analyst or
booth
somewhere?
somewhere. Yeah, he's on Fox, I think.
Yeah, yeah. No, keep doing what you're doing, Matt. And shout out to Matt. Shout out to Matt Ryan, Penn Charter's finest.
I
Philly.
even heard Mark Sanchez's name come up. I
Mark
was like,
Sanchez,
oh, this is crazy.
he's
Like the
still in
man,
the
give the
booth
man a
too.
chance.
Yeah, Mark Sanchez, he's in the booth too. And who else? Like Tom Brady. I would
Plus,
never
Brady owns them, and he's a minority owner of the Raiders. So how is he can't? That's conflict of interest, ain't it?
conflict of interest. Yeah,
He can't do that anyway.
yeah. Let me find out. Tom Brady's gonna be the new Pete Rose, or but yeah, I was definitely heartbroken, Mike. Like I felt it. I don't know, and like we were talking about this before, and people were just like, Casey, don't say that. That's not right. No, no. I think there's a black cat. And the black cat, I think there's two black cats. There was a male cat and a female cat, and they came together and they made some kittens, and they had a litter. I think that's what it's called, right? Like when a kitten when kittens come out, like it's called a litter, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so they had a litter of all black kittens, and they're running around the MetLife arena, and they're just MetLife Stadium. Excuse me, they're running around MetLife Stadium, and they're just causing chaos. You know, running the ladders, windows are broke, people falling down, slipping, and stuff like that. And but like I said, I mean, I'll take the victory, but it's bittersweet. I mean, it was a hell of a victory. Don't get me wrong. And on top of that, we kept the Bills under 20 points, which is the recipe for any high octane offense. Garrett Wilson played great. Jordan
Yeah,
Whitehead,
like the catch of the year already.
yeah, 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 yeah. So yeah, man, I'm just like, sheesh. I mean, if we could do it all again, and then from what I heard, I was reading some of the different publications and outlets. They were just like, you know, what did he say? Aaron Rodgers was quoted saying to Garrett Wilson, like, "Sorry, kid. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I heard that.
Sorry, kid. Like, dude, you ain't Indiana Jones." Uh, but yeah, but yeah. Without further ado, let's go over these. Go over these quick week one scores and whatnot. We're going to be doing this too while the football season is in. On Thursday, the starting of football. Happy football, everybody! The Detroit Lions took on the Chiefs in Kansas City, and Detroit actually came out by one,
Which
21-20.
is a shock to me.
What happened?
I thought I was dreaming when I saw that score. Like,
Oh, I wasn't there.
Detroit won.
I was actually watching that game. I was actually watching that game. David Montgomery had a great game. 74 yards, one touchdown. Patty Mahomes is Patty Mahomes for the Chiefs. 226 yards, two touchdowns, one interception. But our interception came at a bad time. Moving on to Sunday, Carolina Panthers and the Falcons. I actually got this game right. Falcons win 24-10. Bryce Young had a pretty good debut. One touchdown, two interceptions. Typical rookie stats. Um, Bijan Robinson probably going to be the rookie of the year. He had like the move of the week when he when he caught the pass and he
Oh
just
yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I
yeah,
remember
you
that.
saw that joint? Yeah. Yeah, that was crazy. So he had six receptions, 27 yards, a touchdown. Also for rushing, he rushed for 56 yards as well. Moving on to the Texans and the Ravens, I actually got this one right. Shout out to LaShawn because she got this one wrong. She was like, I'm picking the Texans. I was like, well, why are you picking the Texans, babe? She was like, because anything can happen. Yeah, and they lost. The Baltimore Ravens win 25-9. Hold on a second. They win 25-9. Let me see. Lamar Jackson got his new money. Also have 169 yards, one interception. Also, Lamar Jackson actually rushed for 38 yards. Odell Beckham. There's an Odell Beckham showing. What was that? There's an Odell Beckham showing. He had two receptions for 7 yards. Rookie Zay Flowers had nine receptions for 78 yards. And the game of the day to me was moving on was the Bengals and the Browns. That was actually a good one because everybody thought the Bengals were going to come out. They're going to come out blazing. Um, Sorry for you. I hope you didn't pick Joe Burrow in fantasy because he went a blazing 14 for 31 for 82 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. Like you weren't even relevant that game. I mean, 14 for 31. That's like Allen Iverson numbers right there. But Deshaun Watson came out and show improved. 154 yards, one touchdown, one interception with the win. They won 24-3. Jacksonville and the Colts. I thought this was going to be a blowout. To be honest with you, I thought they were going to win like 31 to like 3 or something like that. But the Colts they came out balling, and Anthony Richardson, as my brother affectionately calls him, was it AR5, whatever his number is. Yeah, he was out there. He was out there showing off a little bit. Um, and you see, Michael Pittman had 97 yards and a touchdown. Anthony Richardson played pretty good, 24 for 37, 223 yards, one touchdown, one costly interception. That was towards the end of the game. So,
Jonathan, what's his name? Jonathan. What? Jonathan Richards. The
Jonathan
running
Taylor?
back. He not Jonathan Taylor. He not playing, right?
No, he's not there. You didn't pick him on your football team. You didn't pick him
No,
on
I
your.
don't have.
Oh yeah, I skipped him. Um,
Yeah, your boy messed up my season.
who? Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah,
Do you have someone else?
I got Brock Purdy now.
Oh,
So
you should have pricked in the beginning. Oh, you
no,
ruined
because
it.
I was like Aaron Rodgers gonna have an MVP year this year. So let me pick him as my starter.
Mm-hmm.
And I got Daniel Jones as my backup, but I'm not playing him this week.
Who you gonna play? Purdy?
Yeah,
Yeah, I play him too. Yeah, he was out.
Daniel Jones is just like the you get the bye weeks. I just needed somebody for that one game. That's what Daniel Jones is for.
Okay. When is your? Oh yeah. I'm tripping. Um, Moving on, Tampa Bay and Minnesota. I actually thought Minnesota was going to win. I got that one wrong in my pool. Tampa Bay comes out with the win, 20-17. Baker Mayfield, 173 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kirk Cousins, he was balling. Um, 344 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Also, Justin Jefferson, fantasy stud, 9 receptions, 150 yards. He had like 120 something yards in the first half. And I think one of the guys that I was playing against, shout out to my man Al, get well soon. We were actually playing against each other, and Justin Jefferson had like 20 points by half. I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna win this one, but I ended up beating him. So, uh, moving on, Tennessee Titans and New Orleans Saints. This was actually a barn burner at the end. New Orleans Saints win by one, 15-16. And Ryan Tannehill, 198 yards, 3 interceptions, no touchdowns. Derrick Henry had a vicious 63 yards. He had a nice angry run at one point. He stiff armed the mess out of somebody. And
Don't it always though?
yeah, but this was a different Derrick Henry stiff arm. It was a nasty joint. Like dude he was running up on him and he just shoved him. I was like, Derrick ain't don't run up on that man. For the Saints, Derek Carr in his debut had 305 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. The return of Michael Thomas, 5 receptions, 61 yards. He did pretty good in my fantasy team. Gave me like a cool 10 points. The 49ers, featuring your boy Brock Purdy on your fantasy team. 49ers and the Steelers. Steelers lose this one 30-7. Brock Purdy had 220 yards, 2 touchdowns. Christian McCaffrey had a blazing 152 yards, 1 touchdown. He had a nice run back. He had a nice run back. I think it was like 80 something yards or something like that. Killed it. Debo had 55 yards, 5 receptions for the Steelers. Kenny Pickett. Um,
Because Brandon was Ayuk, he had a good game, and I got him on one of my fantasy teams, and I
he
ain't
did.
play him. I was
Yes.
mad.
Oh, he had 2 touchdowns too. 2 touchdowns. Renell Yuck had 8 receptions, 129 yards, 2 touchdowns. Yeah, he was balling. I wish I would have got him. I skipped over in my draft too. I was like, I think it was your draft too, and I skipped over him. I think like they gave me Justin Jefferson. No big deal.
Yeah,
Coming,
you came out big,
yeah,
came out good.
I still lost the first week though. That's cool though. I'll get it back. I can't win all three of them.
Oh, sorry, Brian.
Don't worry about it. I'm still talking.
I'm
Uh,
alive. I'm good.
Yeah, you back. You back. Technical difficulties. Arizona Cardinals and the Washington Commanders played. Now, I thought this was going to be a blowout, but the Commanders barely won. They won by 4. Joshua Dobbs went for 132 yards. Marquise Brown had 3 receptions, 28 yards. On defense, Cameron Thomas had a run back. He had a run back for a touchdown. Shout out to Cameron Thomas, a linebacker for the Cardinals. For the Commanders, Sam Howell had 202 yards. Brian Robinson Jr. 1 reception, 7 yards and a touchdown. That was the touchdown that he threw. Moving on, Packers and the Bears. I actually really thought that the Packers would actually lose this one because I thought they were going to like turn a new chapter. Because you know how the saying goes with the Bears and the Packers. Packers own the Bears. They still do. Packers win 38-20. Jordan Love went for 245 yards, 3 touchdowns. Justin Fields had a pretty good game, 216 yards, 1 interception, 1 touchdown. Typical Justin Fields behavior. Um, Moving on to the West Coast, we got the Vegas Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders. I'm still not used to saying that. I'm still saying either Oakland or Los Angeles. Um, the Raiders actually won this game. I really thought the Broncos were going to pull this out because you got a
I
new
thought the
coach.
Broncos won. I didn't know
I
that.
thought the
I didn't
Broncos.
know that.
I turned back to I turned back to what's his face? What's it called? Uh, on Saturday, Football Night in America. I was watching that. I was just like, they won. Jimmy G got him through. Jimmy G, aka I'm better than Brady. He got him through. 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Russell Wilson had a pretty good game too. 2 touchdowns, 177 yards. Yeah, I mean, I really thought they won that game. Now, the game of the day, which I was watching the other day, like, again, was the Dolphins and the Chargers. That was like a shootout.
Yeah, that was a good game.
That was a shootout. Tua, 28 for 45, 466 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. That's like Dan Marino territory right there. Yeah, Like that's straight Dan Marino territory. Tyreek Hill was making it look easy out there. He's turned their joint to like a track meet out there. 11 receptions, 215 yards, 2 touchdowns. Um, Justin Hayward also didn't disappoint. 228 yards, 1 touchdown. Um, Donald Perham, had a touchdown. Joshua Kelly had a touchdown. Eckler had a touchdown. Like it was, yeah, it was just go. It was like go for yours. Monster
So,
had a touchdown. Yeah, River.
my bad for cutting you off.
Yeah, talk to me. Go ahead.
We should have gave a disclaimer before we started,
Oh yeah, why
that
would it?
even though the name of our show is Philadelphia Rap Life,
Mm-hmm.
there's an assumption that we're gonna be talking about rap music all the time, but we're gonna be talking about other stuff
Mm-hmm.
as well. Sports,
Mm-hmm.
music, movies, whatever
Yeah,
comes to mind.
that's
Sort
right.
of like, and also, you know, if everybody who was in tune with our last podcast, the 18 podcast,
Mm-hmm.
we might be going over some of the stuff we talked about before,
Mm-hmm.
just with a new take on it.
Mm-hmm.
Because like the top 10 albums we went over and the movies and stuff. Because I gotta, because you made me think about some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get into that another time. But
Okay. Well, thank you for the disclaimer. And we already talked about the Cowboys, so we can throw that one out the window. Who really disappointed me in that game? Who I thought was going to be balling for you guys? I thought Darren Waller was going to be balling. He
me
stunk it
too.
up for me. He stunk it up for me. Something
It's still
furious.
early. It's still
But guess
early.
what? You know what I'm
'Cause
saying? But you know what?
he
Because
was,
of that defense,
he almost didn't even play. Like he was on the injured list, and like he was questionable at the beginning of the week. So
yeah. I mean, it was
he
almost.
played.
Yeah, it was almost he was invisible out there, to be honest with you. But this cool though. Daniel Jones still had 104 yards. He had 2 interceptions. I mean, that kind of sucks. Saquon Barkley only had 51 yards. They were kind of memeing him too because when they were showing the score, they had like Saquon Barkley all the stuff in his helmet, and he was looking up at the scoreboard. He was like, he had like that lost look on his face and stuff like that. Yeah, so Darren Waller. I mean, he still got in the game though. He had like 3 receptions, 36 yards, and yeah. But Cowboys, man, listen, they were just all over the place. Um,
I mean, I give him their props.
you have to. You got. I mean, they were Micah Parsons was a well-oiled machine out there. The defense was out there. They were just flying. They were flying around, just getting stuff. They were just like they were just there. They were on one. Like they were on. Everybody was in sync. That's all. That's all it is. When a team is in sync like that, and they already have like a high-powered defense, it is what it is. Also, we talked about the Jets earlier in the beginning of our program. Josh Allen, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, 236 yards. Stephon Diggs, 102 yards, 1 touchdown. Zach Wilson for the Jets, 140 yards, 1 touchdown, one clutch touchdown, by the way. Brees Hall was balling, 127 yards. Dalvin Cook was balling, 33 yards. Garrett Wilson caught a touchdown. Alan Lazard got in there. Jordan Whitehead, 3 interceptions. Props to him. Special teams, Xavier Gibson had 65-yard run back and a touchdown. So, and that's it. That's pretty much week one in a nutshell. I mean, I know it went by kind of fast and whatnot, but yeah,
It starts again tomorrow, so
yeah. So, and then start of week two is tomorrow. The Eagles are playing. Who are they playing?
there's Vikings.
Oh, are they playing in Minnesota? They're playing in
It's kind of here.
ooh,
Yeah, this game's here.
ooh, Darius Slay versus Justin Jefferson. Okay, I like it.
It makes me want to go out and do some lift tomorrow because I might make some money.
You might. I think you might have to do this. Yeah. See, you meet him at the train station. So, of course this is a rap. This is a music podcast where we talk about everything, including sports, because we're all diehard fans here. But we're also not only diehard sports fans, we're diehard music fans as well. Um, and like we start our other podcasts, I'm going to start it off with the question of, you know, um, when did you first discover hip hop, Mike?
Um, I want to say I was like 5 or 6 years old, and
Okay.
I was at a family reunion,
Mm-hmm.
and my cousin Marvin, rest in peace, Marvin,
Rest.
he gave me his Maxwell tape,
Mm.
90-minute Maxwell tape with all these old. Of course it was old back then, but it was new then, but it's
Right.
old now. But
Mm-hmm.
all these hip hop songs, they had like Houdini on it.
Ooh, kind of hit it.
Run DMC, Fat Boys.
Okay.
I remember like it was yesterday, but that's when I started loving the music.
Hmm.
But when I first was like, when I first got into it like full time, is when I heard. I want to say the message by Grandmaster Flash
Okay.
or Eric B for President. I think that might have been the one because that they used to come on the radio all the time. So
Hmm.
that I I want to say either well I could say the message now because the meaning of the song applies to today's world
Mm.
or the message. But I would say Eric B for President. But that's when I first heard hip hop was when my cousin gave me that tape.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you know, it's funny because it's always like an older sibling or relative
Yeah.
that you come across, whether it's like a cookout, barbecue, family reunion, whatever the case may be, that has like that. You know, shout out to all the older cousins out there that put all the younger relatives on and stuff like that. Like, it's always cool to have a cousin.
Yeah.
Um, you
Shout out,
know,
and also shout out to my other cousin Bink. I got to
okay.
send him a shout out too because he used to have all the albums and all the
Mm,
tapes.
okay.
I can say this now because he already knows. He beat me up
Oh,
for it. Like I used to
of
steal his
course.
tapes when I was younger.
Hmm.
I would steal them and dub them, and I would try to give them back. Sometimes it ain't work out that way, but he beat me up, so
Of course.
he got his tapes back. But
But was it worth it? Was it worth it though?
no, not really. But
It
I'll
wasn't
probably
worth
all
it.
I do is just ask him if I can borrow it.
To hear all that music now that still carries on to this day. I think it was worth it.
'Cause he used to have like he had like back in the day like all the EPMD albums, Heavy D,
Okay.
like the records, like
Like
not the tapes, but like the extra records.
like vinyl.
Yeah,
Okay.
so he was the one who put me on the EPMD. Like I heard EPMD from him. No, no, that's a lie. That's not true.
Hmm.
I was already on them from I shot the sheriff, but he
Okay.
had the second album, the record, the vinyl.
Ooh. Ooh. Well, like yeah. Yeah, that's hard. That's definitely that was hard to find even back then. So,
Yeah,
um, you see now for me when I first discovered hip hop, and once again it was an older relative. It was actually my cousin Vernon. Shout out to cousin Vern. Um, it was actually Dougie Fresh and the Get Fresh crew. It
yeah,
was
that was on that tape too.
yeah, it was
The show was on
the
there. Yeah.
show. The show was on there. The show was on there, and then like a little bit after, um, he introduced me to Slick Rick. So yeah, of course, there's Lottie Dottie, of course, but he introduced me to the whole entire album. Like, and if you know like what type of material was actually on that album, like when the Great Adventures of Slick Rick came out.
I know. 'Cause I remember my mom, got the tape from Clover. My mom bought
Okay,
it for me. I didn't know Treat 'Em
and,
Like a Prostitute was on there.
and Indian Girl.
Yeah.
Indian Girl, I must have rewound that joint like a million times. Like, ooh, what happened? What happened? He did what? Cowboys and Indian drums. And I'm keeping it. I'm kind of keeping it like PG rated, but yeah. Shout out to cousin Vern. And that like I was listening to like the moment I feared, and when I was listening to it back then, I thought it was awesome. But then as I got older and listened to it more,
Yeah.
this dude was like one of the best. Like he's like one of the best storytellers that I've ever heard. And no disrespect to Nas, Big L, rest in peace, Big L, um, Biggie, and everybody. But I don't know. Maybe it was just the way that Slick Rick was telling the story, and then he was doing the different voices back and forth, like he said, she said, stuff like that. Like I
Mhm.
know where Veronica Lake, that's right, Tear Tail did. Like when he was talking about that, he's like, I know where that is. It's right next to my building. Like he just went into it and came right back out of it. And I love that. But that was one of my favorite albums that kind of introduced me to hip hop. Then also too, shout out to my man Ralph. We were cleaning up. Quick story: we were cleaning up his room, and he was going through all his old boxes of music and stuff like that. And then what happened was De La Soul came out, and I heard about De La Soul, a little bit, but I never got a chance to like have their album. So he had a beat up copy of that album. And I was listening to it, and I was just like listening to like and it was funny because mom was walking by, and she was like, "What do you listen to?" I was like, "That's De La Soul," but she heard one of the samples that were like on the songs. He was like, I was like, "I know what that song is. They're speaking French on that song. It was like an interlude or something like that.
Yeah.
I think it was called Transmission to Mars or something like that."
Yeah,
So
I remember when
yeah,
I bought 3 Feet High and Rising by accident. Like I didn't.
I think we all did.
No, I remember seeing me myself video. Like back when I was
Yeah,
younger, I bought tapes and stuff off the videos. A lot of stuff I bought was because I
we did
liked
that
the
too. I
song,
did that.
the single.
Yeah. Hmm.
I no longer, I don't do it. I stopped doing that. But when I was younger, I heard the single. I
Hmm.
rush to the mall and buy the tape, or I get my mom to buy it for me. So yeah, 3 Feet High, I'm rising. I bought that. I didn't know I was gonna like it, but I later became a Native Tongue fan. So like them,
Shout out.
P. Ali,
Tribe.
Tribe, what's the Black Sheep? All of them. I love them.
Ooh,
So
that's another
later on,
one.
I grew to love
Yeah,
them.
Black Sheep gets slept on too.
Yeah, no, he still
Actually,
got it. He still got it though.
oh yeah, Dress still got it. Dress still got it. I don't know what Mr. Long is doing, but yeah, because I remember they tried. I think they broke up off of like contract stuff and everything like that,
Uh-huh.
which most groups usually duos break
Yeah,
up
he
on.
be putting like he got like little Instagram videos I see him on. He be rapping and stuff. He all right still.
Yeah, Dress is yeah. I used to like Dress's flow because it was like super laid back. It was like some. He'll talk about, but then he'll speed it up and then he'll slow down.
Yeah.
Like if
Oh,
you
and,
want to just do some
and
nigga
Jungle
rap,
Brothers. I was a Brothers fan back in the day too. So
they had some good albums too.
yeah.
Class, because that's what made me like more native tongues because I like how they all like stuck together and stuff like that. Queen
Uh,
Latifah, Moni Love, Charlie. Um, Shout out to all the native tongues, Tribe Called Quest, De La. But yeah, that was now the
Rest in peace,
song.
Life.
Rest in Peace Five. That's right. Rest in Peace Five. What's the bull's name? Would you consider leaders of the new school native tongue?
Uh, I don't know. I forgot they was down with them, but
I
I
I
don't
didn't
think
know.
so.
I didn't
I
even know. I
would.
didn't even know. I didn't even know they were down with them. To be honest with you,
Well, I
maybe
know
because they were the,
Buster was. I don't know about the rest of them.
like Dinkle D and Charlie Brown and everybody.
Yeah.
Cut Mano to Malo. That's terrible how I know who they are because I actually bought that album. I
I
think I
had the
bought that
first
album.
one.
Yeah, that was classic. I don't understand why that's not in the top, maybe top 50 albums of all time, rap albums. That was actually a great album. Um, but that's
We
a,
should talk about that one day.
oh yeah,
We
yeah.
should have a
We are.
we should have a roundtable discussion and put together 50 albums.
And this is
Will
your
we?
this is our opinion. It's not like
Yeah,
by the general public and stuff like that.
it's
So
gonna be hard though.
I mean,
I
but
mean, no, not
it's
really,
gonna
cause not
no, it's
really.
gonna
It's
be
not
fun
really.
though too because it's like
Like if it's
everybody
our
has their
50, it won't
favorite
be.
album. Yeah. Well, everybody has their favorite album. Like somebody might say, like Mike Geronimo's first album was a classic, which it was. It was an
It was.
underground. It was an underground classic. They might say Black Moon Enter the Stage was a classic album, top 100 of
I
all
think it
time.
was.
I think it was too. It was an underground classic, So, um, but yeah, the song that made me fall in love with hip hop, I'm going to say this is off of De La's album, their first album. It was plug tuning. And the way I don't know what it was just the sampling, the cuts, the lyrics, everything was just right. And that was it. After that, I didn't look back after that. And after that, like I was doing the same thing. I was seeing the videos, just like okay, maybe that version is on maybe that version is on the album. Turns out that it wasn't. Um, you gotta live and you gotta learn though. But that's what actually started making me, build up my collection of like tapes and CDs and stuff like that of hip hop. And um, I'm still in love with hip hop to this day. Like
Me too.
I still get on my common joint, but I still like get the stuff that people are listening to now because even some
Okay.
like Conway, like I'll use Conway as an example.
Babe,
Yeah,
he's nice
Conway.
though. Not a,
Yeah,
I mean, he's a good example, but I like if you talking about what the young people listen to, I wouldn't include Conway in that because I don't know too many young folks younger than us that listening to Conway.
yeah. And Conway is like Conway's like a throwback too. He's like a
Yeah,
throwback
because he's
because
like back the night that '90s type rap.
because that like his the flow is like more a lot of sampling, a lot of live instruments, stuff like that. Kind of reminds me of a. I'm not gonna say Common. I'm not gonna say that, but the type of like that no ID type production.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
And I'm not sure if it's him or Benny the Butcher that's a wrestling fan, a big
Benny Butcher's
wrestling
another guy.
fan, but that
Yeah,
that that, that helps a lot.
yeah. I mean, Benny the Butcher's another one. Benny the Butcher's another one too. Conway. I mean, um, I was I was listening. Well, actually, I was helping my man Scoop with an interview a couple days ago, and hopefully this goes out, and hopefully, I would love to hear your opinion on this. And the question was, shout out to my man Scoop. The question was this: do you think, or how should I say this? Do you think Nas would win if Jay Z and Nas had a versus? And the second part of that question is if Nas is not, I guess, worthy of a versus with Jay Z, who would you put in Nas's place?
Good question.
You're welcome.
I think Nas would win a versus because I'm more of a Nas fan than I am a Jay
Okay,
Z fan.
okay.
I
Now,
like
why is
Jay.
that? Why is that?
Jay's why? Because Nas to me seems like one of them regular down to earth guys. Him. Like I put him and Redman in the same kind of category.
Ooh,
Whereas like I feel as though not lyrically, but like where they're level headed, down to earth guys, where approachable. Like we can hang out together and be cool. Like I
do
don't
you?
think like if I ever met Jay Z, I don't think we would be cool. I think Jay would be ignorant to me.
Right.
I might be wrong. If I am, I
No, you're probably
apologize. But
cool.
I
You're
just
probably cool. We don't know. It depends it depends who's with them. Is Bleak with them?
I
Is
don't
Beyonce
know.
with them? Now
I
that's
just think like
you mentioned Redman. I don't mean to cut you off. That was a great point. It's a perfect segue. Do you think Redman could embarrass a couple people up there in the verses?
yeah, I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Redman is very slept on.
Yeah, and he has. And the crazy part is he has that kind of swagger that can like withstand like the polarizing figure of Jay Z, because it's
He-
like because if they're going lyric for lyric, I'd pay to see that. I'd pay to see Jay Z and Redman go at it. I would
and I
also
don't
pay
think
to
I've ever said this to anybody, but Redman is actually my favorite rapper. But
yeah. Listen, he's a lot of people, but you know what it is with Redman? He's like a rapper's rapper,
yeah,
like an artist like a Robert De Niro is like everybody's favorite actor. Al
yeah,
Pacino is everybody's favorite actor, or Chadwick Boseman, may he rest in peace. Chadwick Boseman, Denzel Washington, stuff
yeah,
like that. Larry, well, I would say Denzel Washington because Denzel Washington is like a goat, so I would throw him in there with like Lawrence Fishburne or something like that. Lawrence Fishburne is like probably one of Denzel's favorite actors and stuff like that. Like an actor's actor. Like I'm a fan.
yeah.
You know, but yeah, another person, and the interview was with Scoop and Funkmaster Flex. Now, Funkmaster Flex said he said Busta Rhymes would probably trash Jay Z in the verses. What's your opinion on that? What's your take on
Uh,
that?
I don't know about trash, but it definitely would be hype. It'd be hyper. He would get the crowd hype because you ever been to a Buster show or
No,
seen him perform?
I
Yeah,
seen him
he'll
perform
definitely
like
get the
on
crowd hype.
television. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I was at a powerhouse one year. He was at,
Ooh,
so he'll definitely get like the crowd hype
okay,
more than Jay Z would.
okay. I like that.
I don't know if he'll trash Jay Z, but
Some people saying he would trash Jay Z just off of because Buster got that swagger too. They said
mm,
Funk Flex. Shout out to that interview. Funk Flex was quoted saying he said it would be Buster, Nas, or Missy Elliott.
I never seen a Missy show, so I don't know.
Well, I mean, from what I hear from most folks, they said the Missy show was something you don't want to miss. Like, because because she does it all too. She can sing, she can
Yeah,
rap, she can dance, she can ad lib. I mean, Hove could do all that too, but I think it's more or less like Hove's swagger. You
I
know,
never heard Hov sing before, so I don't know about the singing part.
I mean, he might be. I wish I never met her, and he might do that. But I mean, but I'm just saying, like, it's like Hove has that swagger going for him too. Like, because if we're like, let's go back to Jay Z and Nas. Like, if they have a versus, like, I can see Nas winning. Like, if we're just basing this off of lyrics, oh man, like,
First of all, Ether killed Jay anyway, so
yeah, true. I'd pay to see that too. I'd pay to see both of them do their songs.
yeah,
Like nobody getting hyped, nobody wanting to fight, none of that stuff. Like just do your like Hove, you do yours, Nas, you do yours. And you just do it like that. Go for it.
yeah.
Or
Like I personally don't understand
mhm.
the versus thing. I don't really watch him. The only one I watched was the Locks versus Dipset,
Oh god, that was a massacre.
and I didn't. I don't understand. Like, is it a competition or is they just doing their songs?
I think to me, I think versus is like it's a little competition, but then it's like you're paying homage to like to your albums and stuff like that. Like because if I were to see like if I were to see like a versus between let's say Nas and Jay Z, I would love for them to do Reasonable Doubt and Illmatic. Like just do those two. Like now you do both of those, Nas gets it.
Uh, yeah, I'm about to say I give Illmatic the nod on that one
Nas gets that. You know
because
that's
there's 10 tracks or nine songs that I can listen to straight through. I can't listen to Reasonable Doubt all the way through.
okay. Now some
I
people
mean, a lot of people can, but I
yeah,
can't.
but I think they're doing that because they're like Jay Z diehard fans. It's just like Beyonce, like it's just like the Beehive. Like Beyonce has been putting out some trash for like the last couple years. Yes,
Listen,
yes, Beehive, come get me. You know where I stay at. I'm at Esperanza
I
College,
totally agree.
and but they'll accept
I
it.
don't like. I'm like one of the few non Beyonce fans because I can't. Cause she can sing, but she puts out garbage songs.
She could put out some. She could put out some garbage. You know, she puts out some trash every now and then. It's cool. It is what it is. You know, but they'll go accept it. They're like, oh man, did you hear that new Beyonce song? You hear the new Beyonce song with Shattered Orange? Who the hell is Shattered Orange? You know, that thing is lit. No, it's not. It's garbage. Call it what it is. It's garbage. But I would say, I would say, because Memphis, because I remember I did an interview with Memphis Bleak. Well, me and Scoop, we did an interview with Memphis Bleak. It was all right. It was dope. It was a nice little joint. Shout out to Scoop. And he asked the question was, you know, could Jay Z and Nas have a versus? And he said no, because he said because Nas is having the songs as catalog to you know to get
What?
Jay Z. No,
Are
you
you
don't have
crazy?
enough songs in your catalog to get with
I know.
Nas. You know,
I know.
because I mean, Nas is still putting out music now. Are we going by like the entire catalog?
Now,
Are we?
if you mean like songs that people know and hear all the time, maybe you're right. But Nas got enough material to go back and forth with Jay.
Yeah, and I'm not, and I'm throwing out, and I'm talking about the stuff that he came out before, like King's Disease, like one, two,
Yeah,
three, and what's the other joint? Magic.
yeah.
Yeah, the
I
one
think
with them with Office. What's the joint? The joint with
uh,
50. Woo, that thing is fire. Don't let him put that joint out on a versus. Yeah, office hours. That's what it's called. Office hours with
because that Dipset locks versus I didn't know I had them Dipset songs either. So
yeah, most
yeah,
of those
I don't
Dipset
really
songs.
listen to them. So
The only way you're gonna
not
know those
together
Dipset
anyway.
songs. The only way you're gonna know those Dipset songs if you like if you were like a big what's my man's name? May he rest in peace. K Slay. If you were like a big K Slay
Mhm.
fan, and because that's all he played was like Dipset. You know, and I was a Dipset fan too. I mean, I like the Dipset movement. You know, from 2001 to about 2000. I'm gonna say 2006. That was
I like
that
selected
was
songs. I didn't
Dipset.
really
That was
get with
all
them.
Dipset. That was all Dipset. Everything was Harlem. Everything
Mhm.
was baggy jeans, Air Force Ones, big Averex jackets. You know, pink everything and stuff like that. Yeah, that was their yo man. They had a lot of people say like Dipset is corny, Cam and all that. Yo, listen, man, they had their movement. They had a Dipset movement.
Yeah, they did.
Hmm.
They was
Yeah,
ruling the mixtape scene for a minute. Them in like
yeah.
G Unit.
Shout out to G Unit, man. G Unit, man. Listen, if you didn't have like a G Unit is a future mixtape, then I don't know what you were listening to back then. Because
Well, I wasn't really on. I didn't get on G Unit until later, like after 50 actually dropped an album.
mhm. What
Like
the
when Get
Rich?
Rich or Die Trying came out, that's when I was like really look checking for them, like Lloyd Banks and all them.
Hmm.
Everybody, a lot of people I knew was on them, but I wasn't.
Okay,
I
okay.
barely liked 50, so it's like,
I mean,
but,
50 was. I mean, yeah. Because I
but
mean,
I
because
respect his hustle. Like he's a hustler right now. He got the shows on TV.
a couple movies out, you
Yeah,
know.
so he about to be an expendable sport. He's doing his thing right now.
Yeah, he's killing it right now. Yeah.
You can't knock him.
Now, I'm seeing the caption like our journey to hip hop. This is our journey, like because our journey, I wouldn't even see the journey is even ended because like we're still listening to hip hop. I mean, now
Yeah,
every now and then we go back and listen to the old stuff and
because no
everything.
matter how many times I say I'm going to chill out, with listening to all this rap music, all this shoot 'em up, bang bang stuff, I go right
Hmm.
back to listening to it. But
Oh yeah.
I mostly listen to a lot of old stuff that I listened to back in the day, and then let's dust put me onto something that I like that's out now that I haven't really heard.
Mhm.
I'll listen to that because like I wish he was here now on the show now, but
No, he'll be here.
his music taste is his what his opinion on music I really cherish because he could tell me the name of a song or tell me a song and I'll trust it's good. I wouldn't even listen. I don't have to listen to it.
Yeah, that
I
says
mean,
a
I'll
lot
listen
right
to
there.
it just to hear it for myself, but I don't. He's one of the few people's opinions that you tell me this is hot,
Hmm.
I'm on it. Like I bleed.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That says a lot, man. That says a lot about D's is like his opinions and his knowledge because you're not going to just hear it from anybody. Because I remember somebody said, "Yo, man, you need to go get this joint. This joint is hot." I was like, "Well, who is it?" He was like, it's some guy called Candyman." I was like, "Oh, bet." I was like, I saw that. I saw that video. Yeah, the video was hot. I went to go get it. I was hyped. I went to go
I
get it. I
had the
wish
Candyman singles. I didn't have the tape. I had the album.
my man said, "Go get the album." I don't know, man. I went to got that album like that Friday. That was the worst. That was the worst $18 I ever spent in my life. The worst. That was the worst $18. Um, but yeah. So it
But
looks
that
like we've been
topic
on.
for another day.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So it looks like we've been on here for what, an hour? So
Almost an hour. Yeah.
an hour. So we're about to wind it down because I gotta get back to work.
Yeah.
um, it's I mean this is like our first demo episode about our journey into hip hop. Um, yeah, the journey is still going. I mean, it started my man Mike started here with African Bambaataa, and now look what he's listening to now. And with me, it started with Slick Rick up into De La Soul. Then it just branched out to Tribe Called Quest and everything else that comes through. And I consider myself lucky, Mike. I'm not sure if you consider yourself lucky that we lived through quite a few rap eras.
Yeah.
Not only just like I think um, we came at a great time. You know, like we came what in the '70s, so we went to the '70s, '80s, '90s, 2000, 2010s, 2020s.
Well, I'm more of an '80s rapper. I ain't getting the rap to like the '80s, early
Well,
'80s, like
I ain't getting
84, 85, something like that.
okay. Yeah, I ain't getting the reps like 80. Shoot, I'm gonna say 88, like 88. So that's when like KRS One, was dropping. Um,
Yeah, if you want to talk about heavily in the rap, like
yeah,
'88 is when
yeah.
I
Mine was
start actually buying albums and stuff. Like
mhm. Yeah,
'88.
mine was straight 88. Mine was like 87, 88. Because that's when like Tribe came out with their first album like '89. So and then it just
Yeah, I
went from
remember I
there.
graduated fifth grade when I bought that album.
Mm. Yeah, because I remember it had a different.
It was my fifth grade graduation
I thought it was
present.
dope. I thought it had a dope album cover, but the album cover was dope. Like, this is when like rappers would actually put their time in and get good artwork and stuff like that, and put it on
That
their
album
album.
is a prime example of me just buying albums for the singles. Cause I left my wallet in the El Segundo video.
Mhm.
I was like, I like them dudes. Like they
Yeah,
cool.
be different.
So I graduated fifth grade. My mom took. We went to the mall. I saw the
Mhm.
tape in there. I asked her, "Can can you get it for me?"
Yeah, I got a good De La copy from Sam Goody, and I listened to that joint front and back. Speaking of which, you know what album they never had at Sam Goody? Every time I used to go and it was out, and I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. I kept trying to find Main Source, and he never had it. The first joint, Breaking Atoms, I could never find that joint, and
uh,
whoever had
I don't
it, they
know.
had like a dub.
I don't think I ever seen it in the store until like years after it came out.
No, I saw it in the store, like, and then I turned around, that joint was gone. Like it was gone. And shout out to Denise in eighth grade. I'm still looking for you. I want my Main Source tape back and my House Party one. I'm gonna end it off the show. I'm gonna end off the show just like that. As a matter of fact, man, with another question, what's an album to look? What's an album to look for?
Yeah,
Any
I don't
album.
know.
Oh, okay. I mean, you know
I can't really answer that right now.
okay, anything new coming out that you think okay, or
I
what's some
don't really know what's coming out. I
okay.
just stumbled across stuff.
Okay, so here's a better. I'll make it a little bit more plainer for you, and for our listeners. What's an album that you would recommend? This could be any era, any artist, whatever the case may be. What's an album that you recommend that someone will listen
Uh,
to like this week? Go.
um, this is for you. Stakes is high.
This for me. Stakes is high.
Yeah,
De
yeah,
La
it's for
Soul.
you. Stakes is high. Yeah,
Thanks, man. I appreciate
yeah.
you,
Let's
man.
talk Stakes is high.
I
One of the best
appreciate
albums that came out that year.
you. Ooh, that's a couple. There was a couple good albums that came out that year too. Didn't the Roots come out
Yeah,
that
that
year
was like
too?
'96, right?
Yeah, '96.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Did Illadelph Half Life come out that time too?
yeah,
I recommend that. I'm gonna take it back.
yeah. Definitely that. That's like a slept on album to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that back to the time machine. So with Mike, his album to listen to, if you can find it, that you can just listen to it on YouTube or something like that. I recommend an album that you can listen to on YouTube. Is Illadelph Half a Life. I mean, listen to that thing all the way through, from the intros to the Ursula Rucker outro. It will like, oh wow, oh whoa.
See, I'll be better prepared for this question next time.
No, that's cool. I mean, that was just off the that's off the top of the dome. So,
Because I haven't
but
really been listening to no albums lately. I just been listening to selected songs.
okay. Okay. Well, now we got you. That's gonna be our outro. Like what to look. And it could be anybody. It could be any artist. It could be any artist. It could be new artist, old artist, mixtape, album, EP, single, LP, whatever the case may be. Compact disc, laser disc. I don't care. So, but yeah, this is episode one in the books. Next week, same time.
Yeah,
Time next week. I like this time because like nobody really bothered me or anything like that. I mean, somebody came to the door, like, but they saw I was busy, so you know. But yeah, man,
it was good
um,
at the same time next week.
I had a great time. Coming up next week, our next topic is going to be we might be talking a little Eminem, Tupac next week.
Or
Um,
rap beats. All the
yep,
in the whole.
beefs. Yeah, we're gonna
That
we
should be
gonna we gonna
that's,
jump into rap beefs. We're gonna jump into
that should be
rap
that should be interesting. I have my I have
our favorite disc records and stuff like that and everything. Oh yeah, we're gonna have a good time next week, and then
'cause,
we also gonna
I got some of my favorite beefs on the top of my mind. So I'll wait till next time.
okay, hey, just write them down, man. Write them down and get ready for next week. We're also gonna have our week two recap and everything. Hopefully, everything turns out good for your Giants next week. I'm wishing you luck. Hopefully, my Jets can take on Dallas and we can get the win. And yeah, is there anything else you want to, any shout outs you wanna say? Any parting shots?
Um, shout out to Dustin Malik. Hopefully we get y'all on next time.
No,
We
definitely.
miss y'all. We need y'all on
Yeah,
here.
man, we need you on here, man. Like we need you too, especially Dustin, man, because we talk about video games, wrestling. I'm not a big wrestling fan like Mike is, and I'm not an avid wrestling fan like Mike is, but you know,
Yeah, just
uh,
wait till March when WrestleMania come. That's all I'm gonna be talking about. April. I'm sorry, not March. April. That's all I'm gonna be talking about because I'm going. I'm there.
is it in Philadelphia this year?
Yeah,
Okay. Well, hey man,
I am there.
I wish you well. Hopefully, you get a chance to shake the Undertaker's hand or something like that. You start crying or something like that. Might faint or something.
And I ain't gonna do all that.
Yes, you are.
Like if it was
Yes, you
like Stone Cold or something, maybe. But I ain't listening to
will.
nothing Undertaker.
Ew, you gonna sit there and faint and cry?
No, I was just joking.
Michael
I don't
Piercy.
cry and faint over no
They
wrestler.
gonna call you on the mic. Michael Piercy. Michael Piercy, come on to the you come on down to the ring, bruh. Come on down to the ring. And then you get in there, he shakes your hand like, yeah, man, I just want to say, man, thanks for being a fan. And then you're gonna faint. Like, oh, go
I ain't gonna faint, but I don't know. That'd
cry.
be shocking.
Go cry.
I'll be amazed.
Listen,
I'm gonna show
I,
my fandom. I tell you that.
I tell you what, if I met Stevie Wonder, I'd probably be starstruck. I'd probably be starstruck. I mean, let me look. Okay, here's my
I
last
once said that
question.
about Bill Cosby.
Oh, shoot. Might want to take that one back, but but you know what? To be honest with you, it depends which era though. Which are we talking? Cosby Show era or?
Yeah, I said that
Yeah,
about Bill
yeah,
and Magic. I said if I
yeah.
ever met Magic Johnson, I'd
Oh
probably be
yeah,
starstruck.
I'm starstruck. Yeah, guess what? I would be if I met Phyllis and Rashad. I'd be starstruck, and not in a like weirdo lustful way, but like as in a wow, like you really set the tone for African American women.
Mm.
Brown skin Aunt Viv too. Like I would love to like talk to them and like interview them and say, thank you for just breaking the narrative and breaking stereotypes and breaking barriers and holding down like sitcoms and stuff like that on major networks. It's
Yeah,
not like Homeboys in Outer Space or something like that. This is big business. But yeah, that's another discussion for another podcast for another time. Which we will see you next week, next Wednesday at what time? 1 o'clock or 1:30, depending on what time Mike is cool with. But we definitely going to be seeing you next week. And I'd like to send some shout
yeah,
outs to the fam. And shout out to Mike for letting me share this platform with you. And looks like we're going to be seeing you next week.
definitely. All right, sir.
All right, my man.
Talk to you later.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later, yo. All
All right,
right. Peace.
all right. Peace out, everybody.